Hello, Aquano here, and we're back for another Trails in the Sky first chapter video. And today we're going to talk about Joshua Orbment and his best builds. So this is my second video for best builds in the endgame and the final dungeon. So I made a very important decision. I decided that this video will be the last individual character build guide. I'm gonna group up the 6 other party members in one big video because I thought it would take a lot of time to do every single character, and I know a lot of you guys have already either finished the game or, you know, on their way to finish the game. So I'm gonna do Estelle and Joshua, one video each, because, you know, they're the most versatile characters and everyone has to play them. And then after that, I'm gonna do my usual best quartz, like sealed area edition for the 6 other characters. So without further ado, let's talk about the best builds for Joshua in the endgame. Now, these builds are for the endgame, but if you are a couple chapters behind, you can still do, build them, make these builds, but you will probably have to change a couple quartz or just use the weaker version of those quartz to get pretty much the same result. Especially for the physical build for Joshua, you don't really care about elemental value, you just care about getting the stats of those specific quartz. Now, before we talk about magical Joshua, I need to do kind of like a small correction, because last time I said that since the boss doesn't really have any elemental weaknesses, and the adds he summoned don't have any either, I'm talking about the final boss here of the game, then you're fine with just diamond dust and white Gehenna, right? White Gehenna because you get it naturally from just these 3 quartz that you need to equip anyways as a magical attacker. But diamond dust is good because you get it from equipping mine 3 and then any other water thing. And since you are a caster, heavenly insight is extremely good because it gives plus 5 meters to your range. So these two together will give you access to diamond dust. And then on the last slot, you could put anything to either make you tankier or give you some elemental coverage, or if you don't care, just get EP3 to give you a lot more EP, right? Now the thing is, while this build is definitely very, very solid, since like I said, you don't need elemental coverage for the final boss, the boss summons a lot of adds, at least on his second phase, and they are very, very annoying. Therefore, after doing a couple runs of the boss in Nightmare, I realized that having Titanic Roar is extremely useful. Why? Because not only does it hit everyone on the field, which means no matter where the adds are, they will get hit, but also because it lowers the defense. That means it will help your physical DPS do a bunch of AoE physical attack. Doesn't matter if it's Zin, Agat, their S-crafts will hit a big area and will do a lot of damage to everyone with their defense nerfed. So I really, really like Titanic Roar. Now the thing is, most people will be playing Chloe with them. And Chloe will be a magical attacker as well, but she will be more focused towards being a support. The thing is, Chloe will often have either heal or mercy with her. If you are using mercy, you already get 3 earth, and then you could just slot in defense 3 to get access to Titanic Roar. See, I just have to switch to mercy, and then I automatically get Titanic Roar. Now, this will lose you Latira, so you'll have to do some tinkering, but trying to get Titanic Roar on Chloe is not a bad idea. The thing is, if you don't have Titanic Roar on Chloe, either you can't fit it or you don't want to use it, and you don't have any other magical attacker in your team except her and Joshua, I highly recommend to go for Titanic Roar. It will help you a lot. Now, how do you get Titanic Roar? Now, first of all, you have to move mind. You have to move mind to the isolated spot right here, and then you have to switch this to Golden Shield and this to Defense 3. Defense 3 obviously is very good, makes you a lot tankier, and Golden Shield is here, well, to kind of like fill in the earth value that we need, and it is the best quartz with earth value that we can put. You don't really need break, poison, petrification shield, you don't need all that shit as a magical attacker. So Golden Shield is good, gives us a solid 50 in both defenses. So yeah, this would be the build if you want to go for Titanic Roar. If you think you don't need Titanic Roar, then just go for the build I showed before that. That's it for Magical Joshua. Let's talk about the physical one. Now let's talk about his gear. Now there's one important thing to keep in mind, that if you are playing Magical Joshua, there is a very strong argument to switch from Bracer Jacket to Royal Guard. I really like the Bracer Jacket on him because it gives him 5 crits and evasion, which is very good for Joshua because his weapon also gives him a lot of evasion, so you just stack it. Same thing with Atlas Gear, gives 4 E evasion, so I like Bracer Jacket on him. You only get 1 copy if I'm not wrong, so technically you could give it to someone else. And if you do, give Royal Guard to Joshua, especially if you're playing as a magical attacker, simply because it gives 15 ATS. And since you only have 1 copy of Bracer Jacket, then you can free it up and give it to someone else. So Royal Guard as your armor if you're playing magical. Now for gear, there's one gear I recommend on every single magical attacker, and that is the Blue Sphere. The Blue Sphere gives 20 speed, which is absolutely amazing. Honestly, I would recommend putting 1 sphere on everyone, unless you're doing like a physical build with both Belt or Tiger Heart. So speed, insane. This gives you 75 ATS, insane. And the second equipment, I think we all know who it is. If you want to do what it is. Everyone knows it's one of the best, if not the best, ATS build gear, and that is the Crimson Eye. Crimson Eye got a huge buff in this remake. Before, it used to remove speed, yes. In the original game, it used to have -5 speed because of how broken it is, but now not only did they buff it, but they give it 25 speed. It is absolutely insane. Prevents you from getting muted, which is very good, especially since the Blue Sphere doesn't prevent you from getting muted. So these two together work very well. Gives you 120 ATS extra. So with this you reach a very huge 983 ATS, and that's without any magic droplets, because I'm playing physical in my playthrough, so I haven't given him any droplets. So if you have been giving magic droplets to Joshua, you can reach a very, very high amount of ATS. So yeah, that's it for Magical Joshua. Let's talk about the physical one. Now for the physical build, even though I'm talking about this build as a whole, it does have a lot of variation. There are 2 of them I'm going to present to you guys today. One that is a lot more, assassin offensive, and the other one that is more like a bruiser kind of physical attacker. They're both pretty similar, and they both share 4 quartz, attack 3, strike 3, dark shield, and action 3. Now, Dark Shield, some people did say they preferred using Deathblade or Blindblade. Deathblade does give 25 strength, and it has 10% chance to inflict Death Blow. Now, most enemies are immune to Death Blow, though at least the ones that are, actually tough to kill. And the difference is that you don't really care about 25 strength in the grand schemes of things, in exchange for speed and a speed buff when you're low HP. These 2 things are very, very precious. Speed is the best stat in the game. 7 speed is a lot better than 25 strength. This also gives you 3 water value, which can be useful if you want to just heal your party from time to time. Sometimes like outside of battle, since you're not really using his EP in battle that much outside of Clock Up EX. So you know what, it's a nice bonus. But the main reason why we're using Dark Shield instead of Dark Blade, what is it called? Yeah, Death Blade, is because of the speed. Don't underestimate how good speed is. Strike 3, attack 3, action 3. Well, action 3 is necessary on everyone. Attack 3 and stack 3, well, he's a physical attacker. The crits he gets from this is insane. If you manage to upgrade to the plus version, you get 7 speed. I don't need to repeat myself why 7 speed is so good. Attack 3, basically a must-have on your physical DPS. Multiplies your entire strength by 1.2. Insanely good. Now, the last 2 slots is where it gets a bit dicey. A regular physical DPS, in my opinion, would get something like Break 3 and Hit 3, right? Hit 3 gives 30 strength, a lot of accuracy. Break 3 gives 50 strength and a lot of stun value. With these 2, you become kind of like the regular physical DPS, and this build honestly works perfectly fine. Now you have a couple things you can change. You could change Hit 3 for more defensive stats. You could give him Defense 3 and HP 3 to make him more of a tanky DPS. But again, these 2 slots you can do a bunch of stuff. So like I said, you could go regular DPS, with hit 3, break 3. You could go a bit more tanky with HP 3, defense 3. And then the third option, which I think will change a little bit how you gear him, is the evasion build. There is a quartz you get in this dungeon called Hidden Leaf. Actually, do you get from the dungeon or from the rewards? I don't really remember. But you get this pretty much at the end of the game, and it gives you 100% accuracy, which can replace hit 3. Instead of the 50 strength, it gives you 10 crit rate, which is absolutely insane. And then evasion plus 25 on both evasions. Now, hear me out. If you are not currently using this on any other party member, give it immediately to your physical Joshua. Why? Because it is just straight up better than hit 3. You don't need that much accuracy. At 200%, it's already enough. So, and you can also get accuracy from other sources like your gear. So, if you don't have Hidden Leaf equipped on another character, maybe you're doing like an evasion build on Estelle or something. If you don't have it equipped, give it to him, because 10 crit is a lot better than 50 strength. It is a lot better. The higher you get your crit, the better it is. And then if you're going evasion, might as well go all the way and go for an evade 3. This will bring your evasion to 60% with the gear I'm giving him right now. I'm giving him, let's see here, Victory Band, Tiger Heart for more damage, but Atlas gear gives him a evasion 4%, and this one gives him 5% evasion, the Bracer Jacket, and this one also gives him 9% evasion and crit, Air Blades Plus. Since his weapon gives him so much evasion, might as well spec into more evasion to make him dodge some stuff. But honestly, the main reason why we're doing this is not only because of the evasion, but because Hidden Leaf gives 10% crit and can replace hit 3 because of the accuracy. Evasion is not that good of a stat. I don't recommend going an evasion build on anyone else unless you're doing a physical DPS, because evasion is not that good. It kind of got nerfed in this game because of a mechanic called Rage Mode. So the Rage Boost state is something that the very strong bosses, usually the story bosses, have. And when they enter that Rage Boost, they not only do they get a very strong stat boost, but they also gain unavoidable attacks. And this is something a lot of people have missed, and this makes it so the strong bosses are the ones you actually are building for, because the ones that don't have access to Rage Boost are not that scary in the first place, so who cares? But the ones that are have Rage Boost, which means it doesn't matter how much evasion you have, you will get hit when they're in the Rage Boost. So yes, keep that in mind. That's the reason why I don't like dodge builds, because they're not as reliable anymore. But I still think Hidden Leaf is good because of the crit. If you don't want to invest too much into evasion, but just want Hidden Leaf for the crit, that's honestly fine. I think that's pretty good. I think doing a mix of Break 3 and Hidden Leaf would be the best bet. Do you need to change your gear if you're doing something without the Hidden Leaf? Honestly, not really. Even though Atlas gear, Bracer Jacket, and Everblade all give evasion, you're not really playing them for the evasion. They are the best gear you can get at this stage. This one gives you 10 speed, so you keep it because it's the best male boots. Tiger Heart and Victory Headband are both extremely good. If you have access to the Gladiator belts and you don't have it equipped on someone else, like Estelle or Agathe, then make sure to combine it with the Victory Headband. You can get 2 of these in the game if you've done the Lighthouse quest in Chapter 2. So you could give this to someone else and still have one on Joshua. But the Gladiator belt is only 1 copy. You need to reach the highest rank, the highest Bracer rank. So make sure to give it to him. I personally missed it because I skipped a couple side quests. I honestly forgot about the Gladiator belt. That's my bad. But definitely give it to him if you have it. I have Tiger Heart Plus, a very, very good alternative. It gives him 120 strength and defense plus 3000 HP. This allows our Joshua to be a lot less squishy, because before that he was extremely squishy. So yes, make sure to give these accessories to your physical Joshua. So that was it for Joshua. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and if it was helpful, subscribe, because I will be making more. Like I said, there is a best quartz sealed guide edition coming out pretty soon with all the 6 remaining characters, and I will be doing a final boss guide, and after that we will be done with this wonderful game. But I'll keep making content about the game. Like I want to do some fun content about like comparing the original game with this remake, about the fun facts, the fun differences, and I'll be making a bunch of other videos when the next game comes out, so make sure to stay tuned. I'm guessing the game will come out next year because all of the models are pretty much already done. The game takes place in the same cities for most of the game, so yeah, I don't think we'll have to wait for too long. But anyways, it was Aquano. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.